Hey Fox, welcome back to my channel. From today we are going to start a new series which will be based on Android Jetpack Compose. In this series we are going to learn what is Jetpack Compose, how is it different from the normal XML, why do we want to shift to Jetpack Compose, and many more things. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Okay, so first of all, let's create a new project. We will select the empty Jetpack empty compose activity and we will name it my Jetpack Compose. So what is Jetpack Compose? Jetpack Compose is basically Android's modern UI toolkit. It's very different from the normal XML because in XML we need to declare the views in a separate file which we name as XML. In that view we do a UI that we want a linear layout, we want a relative layout, we want a text view, button, edit text field and all that. But in Jetpack Compose we declare the UI on the runtime. Means we have different elements in Jetpack Compose and we can declare it as we need. Suppose we have a button on which we need to hide some field. So instead of creating an XML in Jetpack Compose, what we do is we simply add if a condition, for example if 0, for example if 0 equals 0, then draw this UI. Otherwise Jetpack Compose won't draw this. So things in Jetpack Compose works like this. The reason we call it declarative UI is because we declare it on the runtime. We declare the views with the help of functions. Okay, so let's do some work here. First, erase all these things, we are not going to use it. First, this is the UI package which is built automatically when we create a Jetpack Compose project. It contains a theme package in which we have colors, shape, theme and a type. This is basically typography for fonts. In the theme section we have the dark color palette and light color palette. Dark color palette works when we have the dark mode on in our phones. So if you can see here that this is the theme function and it contains the function which tells us a system in dark theme, so it will return us the true or false. If we go into this function, you can see that it's an internal function which tells us about the current theme of the phone. Is it light mode or is it dark mode? It will returns us a boolean, and on that basis we can set our color palette. Okay, so moving on to colors. This is our file for our colors. We can declare our colors here. Let's declare our colors. I will change their name to dark blue, blue, and the navy. Sorry. Dark blue, we will use it for the status bar. So let's create our color. Sorry, we will use it for it should be like light blue, blue, and the navy. This will be our light blue color. This will be our blue color. And this will be our navy color. We will use this for the status bar, and this will be our primary color. We need to change some colors in the values and the theme. Here it is calling the purple 700, but we need to change it to navy, and we will add the navy color here. Okay, so now our status color is changed. Now let's get back to our main activity. So if any function has an annotation with preview, it will automatically enable the design view here. So whatever we are going to write here, we can display it in our design view. Okay, so let's create a package in UI, and we will name it as components. In components, we are going to add an Jetpack Compose app bar. Sorry, we are not going to create a class but a file. Here what I can do is I will give it an annotation composable to tell it that it is a composable function. And in composable function, we don't write it in a camel case. If we write a sum function, it will give us some warning that composable function that return unit should start with an uppercase letter. So it should, function name should start with an upper letter. So create an app bar. Here we simply write top app bar, and in the top app bar we will add the title here. Title will contain text. I will take text title from the argument. I will write title here. So there are two things here. Top bar by default is top bar by default gives us some function. For example, we can give the title here, the modifier, the navigation icon, actions which are used for the action buttons, background color, content color, and elevation. So what we can do is we can remove this scope and we can by default give it some title here. We can also give it a navigation icon which will contain icon button. We will leave it as empty, and here we are going to add an icon. icons.default.menu, and in the description we can add as menu button. Okay, so as you can see, we can't see anything here because we haven't declared it as a preview function. So what we can do is we will create one more function. We will name it compose app bar preview, and we will call our Jetpack Compose app bar function in this. We will give it a sample title as toolbar. So now if we rebuild it, so now as you can see, by declaring this function we can now see our design view here. Okay, so now this is our menu button which is clickable because it's a button, and this is our title. Okay, so we have created a function which we can reuse it in all our screens. For example, if in another screen we also want to declare a toolbar with a different title, we can call this function with a different title. Okay, so let's go in the main activity, and here we will create a function composable fun main screen. Okay, so main screen will contain a scaffold. Now what is a scaffold? A scaffold is basically a layout which contains some built-in layouts. For example, if we dive into this, you can see it provides us the modifier, it provides us a scaffold state. We will talk about this later in the upcoming videos. It provides us to top bar. So by using scaffold we can declare our top bar here. We can also declare our bottom bar. We can declare snack bar host for showing the messages. It also provides us the floating action button and many more things. We will cover all these things in upcoming videos. Now coming back to our scaffold, I will add here top bar here, and I will call my Jetpack Compose app bar here with the title Jetpack Compose app. And now if you want to see this, you need to call this function in this default preview. If I refresh it, see, our toolbar is successfully embedded in our main screen. So guys, this is the power of Jetpack Compose. We can do these things in very short time. If we were doing it in the XML, we have to declare many functions for creating a toolbar, for creating a button, and for getting a callback from a button. It's a very time-taking process, but in Jetpack Compose, all you have to do is you need only 3 to 4 lines and it will give you your toolbar. Okay guys, so that's all for today, or I can say that's all for this video. We'll see you in the next. In the next tutorial we will be learning about some more layouts of Jetpack Compose, like we will be creating a bottom navigation, and we will also try to run this in an emulator or some phone so you can see the result. So if you haven't subscribed yet, do subscribe and like my videos, and also press the notification icon so you won't miss any upcoming videos. That's all for today. Thank you so much.